Welcome back, everybody. We're so delighted that you are still with us here today. We hope you are enjoying the annual meeting and learning a lot. Let me set up this next session for you. We are going to be speaking with our good friend Harley, Finkelstein. He shares our passion for helping entrepreneurs succeed. He founded his first company at 17 while still a student at McGill. He is currently starring on Discovery's I Quit, a series about hopeful entrepreneurs who decide to quit their jobs to focus on their side hustle. He's an entrepreneur, a lawyer, and president of Shopify, now the second largest online retailer in the United States. Please welcome our friend Harley Finkelstein, who will be joined by our fearless leader, founder, chairman, and CEO, John Hope Bryant. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you, Lisa. And hello, Harley. For the second time this morning.
Hey, John.
We're making.
How you doing, John?
I'm good, man. I want one clarity. I believe Shopify is the second largest e-retailer in the world. Is that right?
I definitely know that we are the second largest in the U.S., but here's the interesting part about that. We actually are not a retailer. And that is something that I think gets missed. It was something that gets missed often. If you were to pretend Shopify was a retailer, we'd be the second largest retailer in America after Amazon.
Yeah.
But we're not. We're actually a platform. So what we do instead of keeping economies of scale for ourselves is we distribute those economies of scale. So every single small business that uses Shopify gets the same payment rates, fulfillment rates, rates on things like shipping, capital rates that the biggest companies get. We're able to give it to small businesses, which is one of the most meaningful things we do.
Yeah, it's like you're the backbone for e-commerce, the backbone for retailers, the backbone for those who want to do digital commerce. You're their infrastructure, their piping, their efficiency at scale.
Yeah, we're the brand behind the brand for your favorite brands. If you're buying things off Allbirds or Bombas or Gymshark or any of these great direct-to-consumer brands, we have more than 1 million of them on Shopify. Shopify powers them, and it's a role that we take very seriously in empowering entrepreneurs.
Yeah, the only thing I'm happy for your success. The only thing I'm jealous of and I'm hating on you on is how you get to dress.
And we talked about that, right?
We talked
about the fact that, the hoodie. I'm going to send you some hoodies, but we've talked about that it is a privilege that I get to wear this hoodie. That I don't have to think about it. That I can just show up in a t-shirt or a hoodie. And that, in many of our conversations, our late night calls, that's something you and I have talked about, that wasn't something you felt you could do. Yeah,
if you're the average black man and you wear a hoodie or a t-shirt, you get looked down at by the average white man. You get looked strangely. Maybe the Caucasian female, maybe she holds her purse a little tighter. It's not yet that freedom that you enjoy. We're getting there. We're going to get there together by using economic growth and economic opportunity and entrepreneurship as a gateway to social justice and a leveling of the playing field so that everybody can go from wearing a T-shirt to wearing a suit to, if they so see fit, be they black, white,
to the T-shirt.
Back to the T-shirt. That's right.
That's right.
And, Dr. King, we have a special announcement to make here in a second. We had this conversation. Dr. King had a brilliant sense of humor. He was a practical jokester, but he didn't feel like he could not he couldn't feel like he could joke in public. He didn't feel like he could wear his sunglasses in public. He felt like he had to be serious all the time, otherwise somebody would discount him, because the whole brand at that time, the whole movement rested on his shoulders, and he couldn't offload it, Harley. He couldn't distribute it. He couldn't platform it. And what's beautiful about what you and I are going to announce today is this allows for the platforming, the institutionalization, the scaling of human dignity through opportunity for all. I'm not going to steal your thunder. I'm going to allow you to tell the world what we're about to do together.
Okay, so let's set the stage first and foremost. John, I didn't mention that I was going to talk about this, but I do want to mention it. One thing that I've noticed is you and I communicate a lot now, and I get these great emails from you. And at the bottom of your email signature, there's one single identifiable brand one thing that you self-identify with. It says John Hope Bryant, comma, entrepreneur. And I've been thinking a lot about, you can call there's so many different things that you can say you are, whether it's on the philanthropy side, or it's a business owner, or it's a banker, or it's a community builder, but you wrote entrepreneur. And I think that is something that you've held close for a very, very long time. Yeah. We at Shopify, the entire mission of the company exists to level the playing field, to make it easier for entrepreneurs to start and to scale businesses. But something else that you and I have talked about is that something like 9.5% of all businesses in America are ran by black entrepreneurs and black small business owners. That is a disproportionate amount. That doesn't make sense. And so what we are announcing today is that Operation Hope, along with Shopify, is creating a new program, which we think it's called 1MBB, so 1 million new black business and entrepreneurs. And Shopify is helping to advance that mission by offering $130 million worth of resources. And the goal is to create...
No, slow down, Harley. Only rich and wealthy and brilliantly smart people who are cool and who wear hoodies as a daily uniform walk right past $130 million. Slow it down. Come back, say that again, and say it louder for those in the back of the room. Pause. Let's roll that tape back.
So we are getting together, Shopify, along with Operation Hope, to create 1MBB. Once again, Hope, 1 million new black businesses and entrepreneurs initiative. And Shopify, for our side of it, in order to advance that mission, again, we are offering up to $130 million of resources. I'll pause there.
Yes. Drop the mic. I am just bursting at the seams. We've been keeping this quiet for a few months now. For those watching who haven't fallen out of their chairs just yet, that was not a hiccup. He didn't cough and add a number. Shopify is committing $130 million over 10 years in resource support to partner with Operation Hope, to lean into this social justice moment, to rectify, to right, to level the playing field for black people in this country who helped to make this country who she is today and got nothing for it. To inject social justice through opportunity for all and healing the nation at a time of reset. Through the word entrepreneur, which goes back to my fundamental grounding, to the word small, the phrase small business, which was my father and my grandfather, who in 1871, when he was born, was probably born into illegal slavery. And he did not. Those that came before us don't have this opportunity. But we must make sure we give others opportunity. And because of the scale and the sophistication and the elegance and the efficiency of the Shopify platform here and around the world, we're going to be able to, over 10 years, work together to stand up 1 million new black businesses and black entrepreneurs. The Hope 1 Million Black Business and Black Entrepreneurship Initiative, or 1MBB for short. The website is up. The press release is out. The commitment has been made. And the work now begins. This hopefully is a role modeling, Harley, for others. Hopefully this is an inspiration for others. Hopefully people take the words can't and impossible now out of their dictionary and try to figure out what they can do to be the change they want to see in the world. And I want to personally thank you, your founder and your partner and friend, Toby, the other Toby Shannon there, and all of the heroes and sheroes that make up, Rebecca, all the people who are behind the scenes there at Shopify, who have really been incredible with this entire experience. And you've just been ratcheting it up. This started with you guys committing to do to support 10% of the million black businesses, 100,000, which is still is incredible.
Big number.
And now you said you want to commit to support all 1 million by giving them platform support so they could step into this new reality. Thank you very, very much.
It's our pleasure. We think that a world with more entrepreneurs, with more diverse entrepreneurs, is a better world. And going back to that hoodie conversation, that T-shirt conversation, I had role models in my life when I was a kid. My grandparents were immigrants and came to Canada in '56. My grandfather started as an entrepreneur, a small business owner. And so I had role models that allowed me to think about the idea of becoming an entrepreneur. So we don't just want to create 1 million entrepreneurs. That in itself is a big deal. Yeah. But if every one of those entrepreneurs also becomes a role model for the next generation, the next cohort of entrepreneurs in the Black community, now we're talking about an entire movement. Another thing that we talked about, I mentioned your email signature, the self-identifying as entrepreneur yourself. The moment that someone pushes that launch button on Shopify and they become a small business owner, they become an entrepreneur at that moment, everything changes. Yeah. Confidence changes. Yeah. Self-identity changes. Their audacity to do incredible things changes. And I can't think of a better place, a better way for us to spend our time and our money than partnering with Operation Hope to create this entire program. And it's been a great honor, not just helping to architect it with you, John, but to learn from you over the last couple of months of what is needed in the Black community. And I think this is going to have an outsized impact. And Shopify and all 6,000 or 7,000 of us that work at Shopify, we are behind those 1 million entrepreneurs that are going to get started on the platform. And it's very exciting for us.
Yeah, and I was particularly touched. I'm just trying to keep it together here. I was particularly touched by the Black and brown employees at Shopify who I'm told want to volunteer now as a bit of a coaching network behind the scenes at Shopify to coach up these new entrepreneurs and small business owners as they come online to help. No one can guarantee success, but to try to make sure that playing field is as level as possible, to make sure they know they're not alone, right? And 96%. You mentioned earlier that 9% of Black business of all businesses in America are Black businesses, but 96% of those businesses, Harley, don't have an employee. Right. They're a sole proprietor. So is it business or is it busyness? Is it really self-employment project? Is there any generational wealth accumulated there? Is there any infrastructure? How are the books and records? They couldn't get PPP, the federal government program. They had no employees. They couldn't efficiently get the Treasury and stimulus money because the books and records might not have been tight. Maybe they couldn't call the banker because they thought the banker was a bank teller. They didn't know you had to have a banking relationship. We are brilliant, man. When the playing field is level and the rules are published, we just saw Grant Hill and his father a moment ago. We've killed it in sports because the playing field is level and the rules are published. We've killed it in the arts. T.I. will be on later today. Killer Mike is doing great. We've killed it because the playing field is level and the rules are published. But in free enterprise and entrepreneurship, that's not necessarily the case. It hasn't been the case. And so it's what we don't know that we don't know that's killing us. But we think we know, and we're just doing the best we can with what we've got. What would happen if a nonprofit at scale and a for-profit at scale got together, I don't know, maybe Operation Hope and Shopify, and laddered up and had financial coaching and counseling, Hope Business in a Box, entrepreneurship and small business training, 700 credit score counseling, business plan development, graduation, accomplishments, you said, that resiliency, that sense of dignity you get. Okay, I've got to this point. Now they go into the Shopify platform. Okay, domain name, thanks to you, free. Website, thanks to you, free. Payment system, thanks to you at no cost. E-store front, thanks to you, support and assistance. I've already said payment system, fulfillment systems, help assistance with delivery of their products. And when they make their first sale, they get a credit line.
That's right. The moment we see any traction, any sales, what we're able to do is then evaluate them if we can give them cash advances or loans. We've already given out more than $1 billion of cash advances and loans to small businesses that otherwise would not be able to walk into a traditional bank and receive those. And we can do that. One of the things we talked about early on in our discussion was this idea, a new system for confidence, credit, capital. Entrepreneurship is the basis for it. And so the way that we want to show up at Shopify is not just providing these great tools and this great platform which to actually build a business. But along the way, through the people that work at Shopify, the team, we want to help. We want to be able to coach and be able to mentor and advise and say, your next step is cross-sell on Instagram. Your next step is to activate a new shipping provider to get better discounts. Your next step is to open a brick and mortar store in your city, and we're going to provide you with physical location software as well. This idea that we may create the next big brands in these spaces, but for different people, success is a different definition. For some people, they just may want independence. They want to be able to quit their job and focus on something that they love, find their life's work. For others, they want to build the next big company, and they can do all of that because of what we're doing with Operation Hope, and I can't think of anything more meaningful than that.
Somewhere within this platform, Harley, over the next 10 years, we're going to find the next Bill Gates or the next Steve Jobs or the next, Oprah Winfrey or Jay-Z for business. We're going to find the next big personality who can scale opportunity. That alone is worth it. But to your point earlier, and then we'll get into, I want to pivot to some of the knock-on effects of what we're doing that's happened already. The psyche, the mental resiliency that's going to come from this, Harley. Maybe the business will succeed, maybe it won't. Who knows? Maybe they'll go on to become an entrepreneur or not. But now you're affecting how people think about themselves. Now you know you can. As my nephew Mason Dalton said to me when I told him about this, people in his generation at 20 years old are going to go, young black men, from, John, how did you do it? Like you're a Martian. How did you become an entrepreneur? To why am I not doing it? That's a real big leap. Why am I not doing it? Well, that is confidence. That's going from a surviving mentality to a winning mentality overnight. And you do that and you transform a generation, maybe generations, because now they know they can at scale. And they know they can not just cash a check, they can write one too. The knock-on effects, Harley, of us doing Squawk Box this morning, I want to thank CNBC Squawk Box for leading with us this morning in this announcement today, is we've already gotten 100 Black Men of America, the largest collection of black male mentors in this country. 40% of their members are business owners who said, we're going to mentor these businesses that you've brought on. Boom. We've already gotten one of the largest accounting firms here in Atlanta, Apria, who said, we'll give you, I think it's 6,000 hours. It's 50 hours a month for 10 years. It's like a $2 million commitment of time. We're going to wrap accounting support around these new businesses. We have law firms calling us. We have a big business management firm that's called us. Somebody before this we got on, I didn't even know about it, they're committing some in-kind hours. You're creating a juggernaut that other folks can latch a movement. There you go.
Yeah, you're creating a movement. And what you're seeing is what we're doing and what Operation Hope is doing with this program is we're figuring out what are all the pain points that any entrepreneur might have, whether it's mentorship, technology, accounting services, legal services, whatever that may be in the way of becoming a successful entrepreneur. And we're simply just weighting it down. We're bringing it right down as flat as possible. And we're doing that together because we're able to bring all these different people together all around this mission. In the intro earlier, they mentioned that I just finished wrapping this show on Discovery Channel. It's called I Quit. And the winner of I Quit, which thank you, was a guy named Mike D, and he's in Durham, North Carolina. At the end of the show, Mike D has built this incredible barbecue sauce company. At the end of the show, I asked Mike very simply, why did you decide to become an entrepreneur? He didn't say money. He didn't say fame. He didn't say because he just loved to barbecue sauce. He said because he would be the first person in his community that ever would have a family business for their children to go into.
Yes.
And that was mind-blowing to me because what a reason to start something. Yeah. All of a sudden, his daughters now have a totally different version of what their future may look like. They may not want to go into the barbecue business, but they have that optionality.
They know they can.
Starting this business for him, and they know they can, right? And if they don't want to, they don't have to. But that's what we're trying to do here. If we can create 1 million more Mike D's, some bigger, some smaller, oh my gosh, that would be incredible.
Yes, and we're not going to guarantee success. That's not what this is about. We're going to guarantee you that we're going to try as hard as we can to lower those barriers of on-ramp to your own self-determination. But you can't self-determine yourself unless you understand the game, how it works, and you get an on-ramp, and somebody opens a door for you. And if you hustle and work hard, then nobody should be able to stop you, whoever you happen to be. So this should be encouraging to you. This is going to ladder you all the way up from training to support to on literally starting the business at no cost to you, to wraparound services of professional advisors. And who knows? I don't want to riff here, but I think that a lot of other people will be inspired to say what other gaps exist. And now it's just on you. It's on you to say, do you want to do this? Do you believe you can do this? Because a winner knew they were a winner before they won anything. And I think we have a whole generation of winners who just never been given a shot.
And the cost of failure is now about as close to zero as it's ever been in the history of the world. To start a business 10, 20, 100 years ago cost a lot of money. You mortgage your house if you even could do that.
Yeah.
Now the cost of failure is trending towards zero. You know, you mentioned something about role models last time we spoke, and I don't remember the exact stat, but you said that that there's with enough
5%.
role models, I think it's like 5% of a cohort to influence the 95%.
With 5% of role models, any community stabilizes. That's University of Illinois study, Malcolm Gladwell. It's from book The Tipping Point, I believe. At 5% of role models, every community stabilizes. Not 80% role models, not 50%, not 20. That's tough. Just 5.
Just
and the
5.
tail wags the dog because people recognize hope and they are addicted to it. And now if you're wearing a suit, everybody wants to wear a suit. We got to, if you want to wear, we'll make hoodies smart, sexy, and cool again. But the point is that we got to make smart sexy again in this country. This is not about black people. This is about, this is everybody is dumbed down. They've dumbed down in the world and they celebrated it. And we got to knock it off. We've got to make smart sexy again. This is making smart sexy at scale. This is betting on the right jockeys, betting on the right believers, but that all legitimate wealth came from the poor, came from the least of these God's children. That Walmart was Sam Walton with a pickup truck, a storefront, and a high school education. That every big company was once a small one. Why aren't we betting on why aren't we betting on the underdog? That's who's going to build the next big Shopify. And so let me say 2 last things. I'll give you the last point. We're a little bit over on time, but I think everybody recognizes this is $130 million from Shopify is probably worth it. And then Operation Hope is adding some on there to it, and they're supporting us, by the way, with this platform. And they aren't being egotistical about it. They're our founding signature partner in this, but they've invited others to come and join for freedom. I just love the spirit. Number 1 point, if you think if the government had done this, and we want the government in 2021, whoever is president, to be challenged to do this at scale maybe. But if the government had written this check, it's easily 20x what the commitment we're making today. This is at least easily $25,000 per business if you add up all that we're providing times a million businesses. It's a lot of money. It's, pick a number. 10 billion, 15 billion, 20 billion, $25 billion easy if you did this at the federal government level. This is the efficiency of a nonprofit and a efficient for-profit enterprise working together to do something smart at scale. This is capitalism for good, really. I hope that this, and by the way, so this pivots to my last point. I'm thankful to Governor Gina Raimondo of Rhode Island, who's making a state commitment to 1MBB. In other words, she's going to commit the whole state to this, to carving into this number of 1 million small businesses. We have Mayor Strickland of Memphis, who's making a city commitment for the entire city of Memphis, Tennessee. We've got bankers like First Horizon Bank. Brian Jordan's committing bankers to the Time Bank. We've got the CEO of Aprio doing accounting work. We have 100 black men. Tommy Dortch. We've got this is just the iHeartRadio is giving $2 million of radio spots to get the word out. I'm just seeing a layering effect here, and I want to end by thanking both you and your partner in crime, your partner in doing good. Let's get caught doing good, Toby. And I want to thank him. Please tell him I said thank you for checking his spam folder, because when he and I did a podcast, and he said, John, what can we do? And I think you walked out of the room. And what can we do? And I said, well, I don't know. Let's start 1 million black businesses. And he said, send me a note. People say it all the time, right? So I wrote a note.
You follow up.
I sent it. Hey, look, Harley, crickets. I heard nothing for a week. I said, well, that didn't work. And I went on about my business, right? And so I get an email about 10 days later. Oops, I'm sorry, this went to my spam folder. Of course we're in. You and him responded with absolute commitment. I just want to encourage everybody out there to check your spam folder. It might be magic there.
Well, look, we have to open more doors. We have to provide access. We have to remove the barriers for entrepreneurship. This is not just done through software. This is done through resources, through educational programs, and the opportunity to access capital. And I think our shared values and our vision with Operation Hope for 1MBB, like this is going to help us succeed in empowering and inspiring black entrepreneurs. And can you imagine we get to 1 million, then we decide to go to 2 million entrepreneurs, and it would be wonderful. And so we are engaged. You have the entirety of Shopify at your back and behind you, and blowing wind in your sails. And we want to create 1 million black entrepreneurs, and I think we can do it together.
Let's go. Thank you for your leadership, Harley, and for your vision and for your commitment. You're as smart and committed and authentic as you are cool. Peace and light.
Oh, thank you. Let's go, John.
Let's go.